Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Now, unfortunately, I did start streaming earlier, but my microphone was on mute and I wasn't aware about that. So I'm going to restart this, and yeah, we'll make things actually better now that you can actually hear me. Doesn't make a difference, right? Okay, so we have our play-by-email save over here, logging in. Okay, so we're going to input our password. Yeah, we might even see some different results this time. I mean, frankly, we only made it up to the beginning of the attack on Pearl Harbor, so we'll call it that. Genuinely nervous. Oh, so very nervous. Okay, Allied submarine attacking our destroyer here. Now this looks to be Force Z out here. That's rather intriguing. I wonder if we could be lucky enough to actually pick them up. We see large numbers of ships leaving. Get my manual ready. Right here begins the raid on Pearl Harbor itself. We have 72 B5 and 2 Kates, 48 zeros, well 47 zeros, 45 zeros, 44 zeros, 126 D3A, 1 valves. Now the Kates are the ones that are going to be doing the damage here. We start off with some bomb hits on Arizona, New Orleans was that. Now the general purpose bombs aren't exactly that effective. If anything, we'd want the actual B5 and 2 Kates going in there. Now, I think what we may do here is just skip the actual animation just to see what the actual damage is. I think that could be quite the surprise. We'll go ahead and do that then. Okay, the results of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Oh boy. Just look at that rain of destruction. So in the end, 22 of our zeros are damaged, 20 destroyed by flak. That's not too bad then. We do lose a good number of aircraft, but we should be able to recover. 3 Kates are damaged, 1 destroyed by flak. Now these are some nice numbers here. 115 Catalinas are damaged, 4 damaged on the ground. 25 B-17s damaged, 1 destroyed on the ground. 40 Warhawks damaged, 2 destroyed on the ground. 15 Mohawks damaged, 1 destroyed on the ground. 6 Wildcats, 1 destroyed on the ground. 21 Havocs are damaged. 12 B-17Es are damaged, 1 destroyed on the ground. 27 Dauntless Bombers damaged, 2 destroyed on the ground. 56 B-18 Bolos damaged, 1 destroyed on the ground. The rest of these ones aren't too particularly important. Now when it comes to actual ships here, let's see. West Virginia hit by bombs 4 times. Torpedo hits 1 on fire. New Orleans has been hit twice by bombs. I'd imagine these will be general purpose bombs. They won't do a huge measure of damage. Arizona has been hit 5 times by bombs, 2 torpedo hits, on fire. Oklahoma, 4 bomb hits. The patrol boat over here, hit by 1 bomb and is sunk. Maryland, hit by 9 bombs, heavy fires, heavy damage. The destroyer hull has been hit by 1 bomb and heavy fires ensue. Detroit, hit by 1 bomb and is set ablaze. Pennsylvania, 3 bomb hits, 2 torpedo hits, heavy fires, heavy damage. California, now she's going to be heavily damaged. 3 torpedo hits, yes, heavy damage. Nevada, 5 bomb hits, on fire. Tennessee, 3 bomb hits, 4 torpedo hits, on fire, heavy damage. Okay, so we didn't hit that many ships, but we did hit the destroyer, well, the battleships quite nicely. So, West Virginia, Arizona, Oklahoma, Maryland, Pennsylvania, California, Nevada, Tennessee. Yes. I mean, even San Francisco is actually a worthwhile target. But we've hit the targets within Pearl Harbor. Now, as far as it goes to the actual shipyard, The repair shipyard takes 2 damage, airbase 29, airbase supply 1, runway 72, port hits 15, port fuel hits 2. Now the port being damaged is actually quite a worthwhile measure. So overall, the attack on Pearl Harbor has been a success, I suppose you could say. It's not a runaway success as it would have been had we hit carriers. Of course, there are no carriers within Pearl Harbor at this time. We'll move on. Now begins the the bombing over here. Okay. I may have actually missed that squadron or misclicked on that squadron. But we have 55 Zeros attacking Clark Airfield. Only 7 Warhawks rise to challenge and 7 P-35s. We should be able to make quick work of those bad boys. Yep, 54 Zeros slip through. 1 shot down by flak. See, what we need to do is we actually need to destroy or damage MacArthur's Air Force in the Philippines. That is a major target here. I imagine we're going to lose a few Zeros here to the flak, which does fill me with some remorse at the loss of aircraft. But the fact is, I'm glad that we concentrated on Clark and Manila, rather than Clark, Manila, and Singapore. We would probably have suffered a large number of destroyed aircraft and damaged aircraft. Especially considering I couldn't have hit Manila, sorry, could not have hit Singapore with sufficient numbers in my opinion. I'd rather keep the aircraft and hit targets in force where we're able to do so. But yes, damaging the airfield, damaging the aircraft of the airfield here at Clark is going to be worthwhile. This should help to ensure air supremacy over the Philippines, which is going to be a hard-fought battle, and it's one that we do need to win. If I establish air supremacy over the Philippines, that does put us in a really supreme position. So I do note that American forces, or at least American Filipino forces, are marching here from Luzon. Well, obviously this is Luzon. They're marching over from the north down towards Manila, it seems. Banzai! Banzai! Tenno Haika Banzai! Bonsai tree. How you doing there, Black Mesa? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip this to see what the results are. Okay, so we do lose quite a few aircraft. So 24 Zeros are damaged, 9 destroyed by flak. We do manage to take out not huge numbers, not the numbers I was kind of hoping for. But the fact is, we actually... Yes, 14 points of damage to the airbase. 1 point of damage to the airbase supply. I suppose this is the thing, they're not really using bombs, are they? 57 runway hits. That's really quite good. That should make the runway somewhat difficult to use. Okay, now the attack on Manila Port. This is the one I'm really hoping on. Yes, and we begin by hitting a submarine. These are the targets I need. Canopus has been hit. Sailfish has been hit. Oh boy, these are big bombs as well. Sailfish again. Oh, yes. Hello there, mate. We've only just started. The attack on Pearl Harbor. We've just hit Clark Airfield and leave it over here, but I think that was my mistake, and I regret that, but things like that happen. Right now, we have our bomber raid over Manila's port. Bloody hell, obliterated. And we're actually doing quite well. We've hit, what, 2 or 3 submarines so far. And we're actually doing some sufficient damage over here. These level bombers are actually quite heavy payloads. Okay, so here we go. Oh boy. So, Propolis, hit by 1 bomb, heavy damage. Canopus, 1 bomb, heavy fires. Sailfish, 2 bombs, heavy damage. Langley, that's actually quite a worthwhile target. 1 hit, heavy fires, heavy damage. Sea Dragon, 1 bomb hit, heavy damage. This is quite nice. Pearl Harbor went fairly okay. I wouldn't say astounding, We achieved the targets we wanted to hit, such as the battleships. None of them have been sunk, but we have inflicted heavy damage on a number. Okay, we're attacking Force Z. We don't know anything of the carriers up at this moment in time. Now, I do want to hit Prince of Wales and Repulse over here. That would be ideal. Okay, we do lose one G3M2 to actual flak, but no actual target hit. So the aircraft from the light carrier over here are hitting the Porta Davao. Okay, we actually do sink a transport there. The auxiliary ship over here is actually hit and heavy fires ensue. Not too bad, not too bad. Now we're hitting Georgetown. Yeah. I had a little bit of trouble with my microphone. Mainly that I'd had it on mute and not realized. Yeah, the US submarines are probably worth more than the carriers in a way. Mostly due to the fact that they can actually hit us over and over again. So we have heavily damaged 3 of them. It's not quite the rate I would have hoped for, but it has been quite effective. What we'll probably do then is keep hitting Manila. We will probably lose more aircraft, but I think at the end of the day, if I can actually hit these submarines in port, that is going to be a worthwhile target. But for the time being, we've probably, if not definitely, knocked out 3 of these submarines. Well, what we have here is the December 7 supplies. We do have a 100% chance to hit these ships within the port. Well, what that means is it's not that we will hit the ships guaranteed. It's just we'll actually have a 100% chance to attack the ships in port. You can imagine that the ships and submarines might have been like, I don't know, basically sitting there in dock, sitting targets, I suppose you could say. Now this is actually a decent raid. I could have hit Singapore, but I don't think we would have had enough aircraft for that. I'm hoping that we'll have additional raids against Force Z. We should do, considering that we have a bunch of planes available for that action. So far the raids have been successful. We have, we've issued the damage, we've caused the damage that we wanted. There's been no runaway successes as far as yet, i.e. like really astounding results. But then again, that might be me expecting too much or hoping for too much. But the damage done is going to be, well, a step in the right direction, I can say that for the very least. Here we go, we're going to hit the runway. But I mean, at the end of the day, we did hit these submarines with 800-kilogram armor-piercing bombs there. I don't think they can take that sort of damage. I don't know about you, but I just don't think it's really a good thing for a submarine to take that sort of attack. So we'll see what the results of the attack are. Are you going to focus more on China or Southeast Asia? Well, to be honest, we're going to have to really go by the Windsor battle. What I mean by that is we're going to have to go where... I mean, the thing is, I'm not going to be able to transfer troops out of China. So we will persecute a brutal campaign in China. We have a few areas of absolute strategic importance. The rest is going to be really mopping up the Chinese forces. I will obviously try to pursue a very offensive campaign. And frankly, the moment I lose the offensive initiative, I think that's the moment that we begin to lose the campaign, or we lose the campaign in general. But we'll see as we go. Obviously, this is going to be a very dynamic campaign. Things will change, and we have to be careful. We're not we're not fighting a AI opponent here. We're actually fighting a human player. I assume you need the oil from a bit of Southeast Asia to sustain any kind of long-term war economy. Yes, the Dutch East Indies are absolute priority. Well, one of the priorities. Okay, so here at the attack at Georgetown, we do hit the air base. The runway has been hit, so 24% damage there. Okay, the attack on Hong Kong. I need to take Hong Kong. I'd like to take her, well, earlier than the historical precedent, and we should be able to manage that. We have forces inbound, and we are going to push our forces, but not too far. Ideally, I can bring reinforcements there to help out. Okay. So only one of our aircraft are damaged. They don't really inflict anything too huge. Okay, we're hitting a low star. We'll just skip that just to see what the results are. 4 damaged aircraft, but we do inflict some minor damage to the airfield. Yes. We do hear plenty of sinking ships here. Okay. So they're trying to attack our surface task force there. 2 Hudsons are damaged. Again, they're trying to hit Congo. And again, 1 is damaged. Right, we're ways. Okay, this is a larger group, but we only have to worry about the Hudsons. They tried to attack into Takao, no damage. Right, swordfish are evil. Yeah. Of course it's a biplane that hits Congo. Twice. Okay, so Congo receives 2 bomb hits there. They're only general purpose bombs, so they shouldn't do a huge amount of damage. But it has knocked out some of our AA. Blenheim destroyed by flak. Very good. Aruna. Here we go with our midget submarines. And they've actually got in there, they've actually done some damage. Well, that's quite nice. An auxiliary. And sounds like she goes down. I mean, that was only an ammunition carrier, I do believe, but still, that's a worthwhile target. Yeah, Congo should be fine. Yeah, she should be okay. So is the precedent that the US should win with equal play on both sides? In other words, the game is US favored, all else be equal. Well, the game is Allied favors in the respect that the Allies had practically unlimited, well, a practically unlimited economy. They could win a long war, and they did win a long war. So as Japan, we really need to be very decisive. You can win as Japan, it's just extremely difficult. Nigh on impossible, really. Yeah, they truly are. I swear to God, if there's one thing I fear more than anything on this Earth, it would be actually a biplane bomber. They've just always been effective. It's just, I don't know what it is, I've just always been hit by biplanes. I'm a little bit worried that we haven't issued any damage to Force Z. Does not fill me with a huge amount of... Yeah, no damage to Force Z. That's rather interesting. I do wonder about that. Okay, we do issue quite good damage to those forces there. 124 casualties for over 1,000 Chinese. We need to wipe out the Chinese there. Shock attack, better 10. Banzai. I suppose we'd have to reach a certain amount of victory points. And just look at the sheer... the sheer amount of wow, task forces here off Japan. That's an insane amount. There's an insane amount of activity just absolutely everywhere. Now, I do have 2 submarines here in Singapore. They were given a mission of mine laying. I do wonder if they've actually completed that mission. I think that does indicate that I have mines there. Okay. So Force Z has survived, which is going to be interesting. I don't think our airstrikes were particularly effective, actually. But we do have the option to continue the attacks, so we will definitely continue the attacks. I simply can't afford to allow them to be molested. Okay. Now, no sightings of any carriers at this moment in time. How do you even keep track of what's what? I don't know, probably some kind of... I don't know, you kind of get used to it. Okay, so sadly no carrier sightings, which is rather disappointing. Now, what we have to do here is, as I agreed with the historical gamer, is I cannot attack Pearl Harbor anymore. I will have to retreat. Why do I have you over here by Midway? That's perhaps the worst place you could be. Very, very strange that you'd go to Midway. Okay. So not quite the death bells I would have wanted to, well, death knells I would have wanted, but still we did good damage. I mean, we hit the battleships. Yeah, that's true. You just really have to sort it by sections. I think it did like that way. So we hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 battleships in Pearl Harbor. Some of them sustained minor damage, some of them sustained fairly heavy damage. Obviously, this is only rough reports. These are only reports from the actual pilots. We don't know the true extent of our damage, and we don't really know the true extent of what might have happened. But we can see here, Tennessee should be pretty damn heavily damaged. The reason why I can't attack Pearl Harbor again is just a gentleman's agreement. It's just part of the ground rules. It also works for us. At the end of the day, he's agreed not to use 4-engine bombers below 10,000 feet to naval attack because they're absolute, well, port attack because they're ridiculously effective. Yes, that's true. We did pretty good damage to the runway. None that particularly matters too much. The shipyard, light damage. Not fuel, light damage, but still damage is damage. Now, I think this was a mistake, the air attack at Iba. But we did take out some Warhawks, so not too bad, I guess. I'll just have to redirect them from an attack on Manila again. Now, Clark has been hit quite heavily. Whether we want to continue that attack is really an interesting question. But we did hit, what, 3 submarines over here? Yeah, heavy damage to them all. So that's more than likely 3 submarines knocked out. What we will do then is, I think I just need to continue the attacks at Manila. We are going to lose aircraft, more than likely. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be worthwhile to keep on hitting those submarines. I mean, 73 ships in the actual port there, that's a hell of a lot. Okay. So the invasion forces are underway. Yeah, it's going to take them some time to arrive. Now, I may have a chance of actually catching Force Z on the way out. I imagine THG is going to be very happy about that one. We still have a chance to destroy them. Still a good chance. Just need to get our aircraft out there. It may be due to the fact I limited them on range, but even then with this range they should be able to hit them. Is there an option for a third wave that lands during the night on the original Pearl Harbor attack? There's no option for that, it's just basically you have the attacks each phase. The historical gamer is our opponent. Nice. Okay. We have our invasion forces that will be heading towards Wake as we speak. I've actually strengthened this one to a degree. We have just over 3,000 troops, which should be very good. We'll try and strengthen that as much as we can. Now we will continue to try and find the American carriers. They might, well, this is it. I don't know which way they might have gone. We'll have to split up and try and cover as much ground as possible. If I take a look over here, we can see that we've got our submarines set up in a patrol pattern around here. We do have a number of submarines that are carrying search aircraft, such as the I-25. Now, of course, we don't have a guaranteed chance to actually find them, but we'll do our damnedest. We do have our AMC over here. We actually have 2 AMCs, and these bad boys are actually equipped with search aircraft. Ooh, very, very nice. Yes, they are. Superb. I've got a lot of plans for these guys. In fact, I'll keep them out here in the Pacific. What I want to do is actually... in the future, I would like to actually hit Palmyra. If we could actually hit Palmyra and actually invade Palmyra, I would be very happy. We do have plans in place to actually hit and take Midway. Now to move on to Smolensk. Aye, indeed. Okay. If you're heading over to the island, you'll be picking up some forces from over here. We've set up our patrol boats and their patterns, but just look at the sheer number of actual ships here. It's going to take us about 2 weeks, a week or two definitely, for our ships to arrive at the actual ports where they're required. And then we can begin setting up the actual convoy system. We do have some already in place, which is quite nice. Yeah. Shanghai, Osaka, resource convoy. So these are the ships that were already in the actual docks here at Shanghai, which are loading up now. They'll be heading to Osaka once they've actually picked up all their resources. Hello there, Chris. How you doing, my friend? We did take Bataan Island. You've had any luck with sub-base search aircraft? Occasionally. You've got to imagine there's only one aircraft out there. It's not going to be extremely effective, but it's better than nothing. Okay, let's go ahead and inspect the condition of Kitabutai. Okay. We'll take a look at the actual carrier aircraft. What are the conditions that must be met for the Soviets to invade? The Soviets can invade. After, I think, a certain date in 1945, they'll invade automatically. Otherwise, if I take a certain number of salt value, i.e. troops out of Manchuria, then there is a chance that they will invade. But it's a small chance, but it is a chance every turn. It's something that's not really worthwhile doing. Okay, so in terms of fighters, I have a total of 80, 72 are ready, 5 are unready. Okay. So we can see here that the squadron on the Kargistal is damaged, Kargistal damaged. Not a huge number of aircraft, but still not too bad. We'll have to be careful and really reassign them missions. What I will be doing though is, I've agreed not to actually use my carriers to hunt the American carriers, but I will be using my submarines. And we'll give it a couple turns. If I find them, we'll hunt them down. Okay. So we'll have the Philippine invasion shortly. Now we do have Ryujo. And I think what I'll do with Ryujo is actually use it to support another attack on Manila. There's a good amount of fighters there, so we do have to be careful. But we have knocked out a good number of aircraft. Obviously, we may have knocked out more or less, but not to know. Right, here you can see here the Manchukuo garrison. I need to maintain 8,000 plus, and then the Soviets will not attack. Okay. So, let's see here. So 56 aircraft destroyed by flak, 14 to operational losses. Not a huge number of points. Aircraft losses. The Allies have lost 41 aircraft, we've actually lost 73 in total. But they've actually taken a lot of damage to some decent aircraft, such as their level bombers. We will continue a campaign, really, of suppressing Manila and Clark Airfield. At the end of the day, I can't allow these to become operational, otherwise it will be very damaging. Now that's only suggesting 14 points of damage, which is fair enough considering that we attacked with only fighter aircraft. What we'll do with the Zeros from Formosa is, once we do have a base over here, a decent base actually at that one, is we'll start operating in the Philippines, but until then I'll just keep operating from Formosa, while we do have the aviation support required to keep these raids ongoing. And if I take a look, it does seem like one of the squadrons was actually assigned a target, a wrong target by mistake. That's completely my fault. Okay. You targeted Clark. Okay. Yes, it was you. That was my fault. I should have retargeted that actual squadron. But what we will do then is we will hit Manila again. I think we just need to continue to hit Manila. The issue is, though, let's take a look. I believe this gives us the actual weather conditions. Let's see. Yes. So pressing 3 gives us a weather forecast. So the weather forecast is looking at clear weather over here. Overcast over the South China Sea. Thunderstorms over the south of China. Overcast over much of China. So in some ways, it might be worthwhile really paying attention to the actual forecast. Potentially not flying as many flights during the overcast, or like thunderstorm. I suppose overcast is not too bad, doesn't really matter too much, does it? Obviously clear means that we'd have the best advantage. But I suppose overcast isn't going to lead to many destroyed planes, is it really? I just imagine it'll be like less efficient raids, I suppose. Overcast over Dutch East Indies. Now, out here in the Pacific, how are we looking? So the forecast is clear. That's what I like to see. We do have light rain in some places. Heavy cloud. Thunderstorm. Clear. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to make a quick save here. And I'll use that to actually import into the Warner Pacific tracker. So save 179. We'll get a better understanding of what's going on then. I do feel a bit sad that we didn't do as much damage as I was hoping for. But we'll continue the we'll continue the attacks and really rack it up. At the end of the day, the first turn can only achieve so very much. Okay, let's get this ready. Take a step, save a step. Pretty much. Probably the most efficient and safe way to do this. At the end of the day, it's very possible that I could actually lose a save due to like I don't know, something going wrong. All sorts of stuff can always happen, can't it? Okay. So 179 is the save I'm looking at. There we go, save. Launch the tracker. So we'll take a look at the Empire overall. We'll take a look, obviously, at the economy. The economy is going to be a big thing. Also, pilot training will be a big thing. I mean, this first turn is going to take us a couple hours easy. Okay, read the turn. Right. Current turn. Now, vehicle points is supposedly low, but that's fine. We're upgrading our minicars here to APDs. It's going to take a few days. So, that will be quite good. The sub-chase THG is about to begin building. Okay. So, it was a waste of time attacking these PT boats. I wish I could recommend the actual pilots for that. Right, Zuiho's group size changed to 20. Well, interesting. New leaders have arrived. Otagaki has increased his leadership, so he's on the Shipatago. Right, we'll take a look at the industry. Please do a better job of pilot replacement training than the Japanese did historically. Yeah, that is going to be our real big thing. And Japan was actually trying to use the Soviets to mediate a peace treaty near the end of the war. They were completely surprised by their attack. I can imagine they knew it was going to be coming, or at least something like that could have happened. Right, so if we take a look at our heavy industry, you can see that we have 6,352 points of heavy industry remaining to us to use. Quite decent. We've turned off armament production completely for the time being. Which means we do have a bunch of heavy industry saved from that. See, the naval yard is using quite a lot, but what we will do is actually take a look at shutting down the production of certain ships and saving that heavy industry to use elsewhere. So we see our deficit of 2,500 tons of resources a turn. That's a big deal. 8,110 tons of oil is a deficit. We do need to actually increase the amount of oil and resources acquired by the Empire. The ship use of fuel is going to be quite high in these early turns, as obviously we're moving a large number of aircraft. Ships, not aircraft. I was looking at this down here, thinking aircraft. Yeah, tell me about it. We should be able to rectify it over time. It is going to take time, but we will be able to do something about it. I'm quite happy about the heavy industry points, that's quite nice. It means that we do have some decent potential here. Right, now this is what I want to see. Resources. I'm only seeing Japan here at the moment. Right. You can see that we've used a couple, well, a few tens of thousands of tons of resources. Indeed. What was that? 70,000? 60,000? I'm not going to do maths on camera. I'm actually setting myself up to fail. Not much use of fuel. Not a huge deal. In fact... Yeah. Okay. Quite heavy use of supplies, obviously, as we're increasing the size of our aircraft manufacturing quite dramatically. Okay. Got the top. So we can see here in Tokyo, we have resources to last about 20 days. In Kyoto, 21 days. Fuel to last 96 days. Fuel to last 208 days Osaka. Not a huge amount. Get sources by the peaceful occupation central. Indeed. Right. So if we take a look at the resource usage at Tokyo, you can see that we are running through quite a lot there. You can see the task forces carrying resources here. So this one at Shanghai carrying 43,000 tons of resources. 7,000, 6,000, 4,000, 4,000, 3,000. Some fuel over here, of course. So, these are the ones that will be loading up and then heading back to Japan itself. We'll be able to make up some of the losses of resources, but it's going to be a deficit for the first couple of days. Well, first week to 2 weeks, until we really get the convoy set up. No worries, boys, we've got the power of God and enemy on our side. Aye, indeed. You can see the difference each day is 8,110. We have oil in Japan to last about 398 days. Which sounds like a long time, but it really is not. Really is not at all. We have resources to last 768 days within Japan itself. But the thing is, we need to get these resources to where they're actually needed. At the moment, we're shipping about 69,000 tons of resources, it seems. So we have supply within Japan to run for about 322 days, just under a year. Okay. We need a lot more. Let's see. Aircraft production. So we are increasing the aircraft production. So what I'm going to do then is we'll take a look at the engines to begin with. We'll take a look at the Nakajima HA35. Yes, Nakajima HA35. So you can see that we've actually established a second engine production plant. Yeah, 398 days of oil, cries in German. Indeed. So yes, we have our second plant over here that will be established. You can see here, we do need to tell them to repair. So not repairing at the moment is 200. But we'll tell them to start repairing, then obviously they'll build these. Build 180, not repairing. So that'll take us up to about 400, and then 600 here. And raising the enemy by Yoshi Igawa is a really good book if you want to read about Japan's surrender. That does sound really interesting. So you're saying we have enough fuel to get us to the Spankenhead Midway. Yeah, we have enough fuel to get to the Spankenhead Midway, but we're going to make sure that never happens. Okay, so at the moment I'm producing 180 HA35s at the moment. Each month. Which is not a huge number. I do need to increase that. We've only gained a net gain of 1 there. I need to change that pretty soon. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay. So, we have multiple invasions that will be taking place. Oh, go away. Right, we need to tell them new orders. I am a little bit disappointed about Force Z, but I suppose there's always time to attack them in the following turns. Yes, he who spanks first spanks hardest. Fine. I mean, this is our objective in China to begin with, Chengchao. What should be good? I should have some APDs and transports, right, yes. So I have 2 escorts and an APD heading up the river here. Now, you are able to carry only 150 troop or cargo capacity. That's not a huge amount. Please don't leave us oil, chat. I absolutely love that. Okay. It's going to take us some time to really organize the convoys. I just need to have them arrive, really. But you can see here that we do have our patrol routes, well, our patrol patterns set up. Principally, we are going to be patrolling this area. I'm just going to draw out the areas with the drawing tool here. Uno momento. Okay. So our shipping lanes are roughly like this. Obviously, we have the shipping lane coming down from Port Arthur. So what I'll do is I'll draw them all on and then we'll make it work that way. So, Port Arthur is heading to the port here, I forget the name of. Izhou. San here. Shanghai to Nagasaki. Toyohara to, get the name. I need to remember these names. It's been some time since I've actually looked at this, so I've forgotten some of the names. Sapporo to the same port. Iwaki. Akadati to Aminato. I do have some resources that will be transported from here to the port here as well, or even potentially Osaka itself. And could the carriers be moving south then to Australia? Because I mean, he knows you have bases in that way, why would he move them directly? See, this is the thing, they could even be heading back to America directly, which is probably the move he would go for. I think of all the moves, he is going to try to group his carriers. He's definitely going to be looking at something offensive. Okay, so as far as it goes for our shipping lanes, I'm really establishing the aircraft coverage over this point here. We do have some light coverage in the Yellow Sea, but namely I'm going to be covering this shipping lane here. I think it's going to be the wisest use of resources, and at the end of the day this is where he's going to be prowling with his submarines. And for C, could they be after your troops are running? Well, he has the opportunity to try and attack my troops directly. I do have Congo. We are going to have to take a look at Congo's condition. She was hit by 2 500 kilogram bombs, but they were only general purpose bombs. So the damage is going to be relatively minor, though some of the AA guns were knocked out, so that's not a huge, joyful thing to see. But if it comes to it, we will engage Force Z in direct combat. I must guard my invasion forces. Are there any mechanics for commanders dying of old age or committed suicide? There's mechanics for commanders dying. It's like, for example, I believe if you surround forces and destroy them, there's a chance that the commander dies. Lots of things like that, really. At least that's how it works in 1v East. It's great if you want to see what the Japanese High Command was doing, I'm thinking, near the end. I don't think some people realize how divided their leadership was near the end. Well, this is it, but can you imagine the sheer amount of deaths that would have happened had the Allied forces invaded Japan? I mean, Japan would have eventually lost in the end, but the thing is, the casualties would have been absolutely immeasurable, I'd imagine. Huge. Not very nice. Okay. Let's go and take a look at the condition of Congo. So she's over here. She's looking fairly good, yeah, relatively light damage, so just two of her guns was knocked out here, just the AA. Not a huge deal. Overall, she's, yeah, minor damage here at best. The guns will be brought back into operation soon enough, but Congo is definitely good to go. So the thing is, THG may celebrate that, but in reality, the damage is extremely minor. Now then, what we'll do here then is I'm going to take a look at the search, make the map very large, search arcs. Yeah, let's take a look at the ASW, then at least you guys can actually see. Ranger should be seeing that. Oh, then again, that'd be on naval search, won't it? Right. So this is what we have at the moment in regards to ASW, but I suppose, right, naval, yeah, there we go. Wow, that looks really cool, actually. That's like a disco. That is pretty awesome. If the invasion of Japan was anything like the campaigns on Saipan, there wouldn't be as many Japanese as there are today. You can imagine, yeah, there probably would not be. So this is looking really nice. We have this disco going on here. If we take a look at the define, you can see here, we're covering this area fairly heavily. Looks like I need to actually have a squadron covering this route from Shanghai. But what the idea here is really, is that we cover these areas, rather than waste our resources elsewhere. If we take a zoomed out look at Japan, we'll get a better view. It's like I do have some very light coverage over there in the Yellow Sea. It's going to be mostly random search. But as far as it goes elsewhere, we have these search planes that will be covered in the Yawaki route. We have these forces over here covered in the Ominato approach. We'll have forces over here in time covered in the approach to Toyohara. I am going to be sending a aircraft auxiliary to one of these islands to set up shop with some search planes. It's looking fairly decent though. Now take a look at random. So random search, you can see that we actually do have some decent coverage over Japan, at least over by Kyushu. Quite heavy coverage there. I'd imagine that's where we're gathering Baby Kidobutai. We do have good coverage over Formosa. We have very good coverage down here by our islands this way. Can't remember the names. Bedelbois or something. I'm terrible with names. Absolutely terrible. Fairly effective cover. And the Marshall Islands has some good search arcs. Decent coverage from the Bonin Islands, especially Iwajima, these other islands. The Chichijima, Haka or Hahajima, I can't exactly read that here. Okay, midway we need to move these ships out there rather soon. Okay, so you can see this is from Kidabutai's search. You can see these are our submarines over here, so it's very light in terms of actual search capabilities with the submarines. But the thing is, we'll move these out until it has like a decent coverage. At the end of the day, the task force is going to be moving pretty quickly, but we will be able to try and catch up. I mean, I should be able to gain range on them with aircraft. Ideally so. Now, we do have the APDs, the AMCs, the Armed Merchant Cruisers, down here. They're going to be very handy. They're going to be very handy with their actual search planes. What I plan to do is use them to harass these shipping lanes out here in the Pacific. The idea is going to be that I make it known to THG that he has no route of safe access for his ships to Australia or to East Asia in general. So we do have fairly decent coverage over here. We have some very long-range coverage over the Dutch East Indies. So I need to really beef up the search coverage over here. But I'm quite happy about the defined coverage. This should be fairly effective. At the end of the day, we'll continue to hit Manila. Hit Manila a few times, ideally. We'll see what the losses are like, but at the end of the day, if I can replace these losses of planes, I think it will be worthwhile trying to take out these submarines. In today, they are very dangerous. Now, minefields. So, I'm aware of the minefield at Singapore. Do I have one at Singapore myself? That's a question. Right. I need to set up these bases to continue to run. There are some mines over the Bataan. Doesn't seem to be a huge amount, if any. But I need to maintain these minefields. Shimaneski, that's what I was thinking of. Oh, Shimanon Iski. Shimanon Shineski. It's never going to get good. Right. And if I take a look at ships, and we take a look at active. Imperial Japanese Navy. Hello there, Gary. How you doing, my friend? Well, you've only missed an hour by the end of the day. An hour is just my intro, to be fair. Also, seafood is a huge part of Japanese diet, and obviously weren't able to fish. Yeah. Okay. So what we will be doing here shortly is we will be splitting up our actual task force of Kidabutai. The 2 slowest carriers will be moved to Japan and East Asia. Alright. So, Kaga and Akagi will be sent back to East Asia. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I pulled, I don't know, 2 tendons in my left foot, so it's like I'm off work for a couple days. So, see how that goes. I'm kind of laid up here, which is why I sound a little bit weird because I'm just on some painkillers at the moment. It's like I'm laid up here. Well, I'm sat in my chair and I've got my leg up on some pillows with some frozen peas on my foot. It's funny more than anything. Okay, hello there, HNDC. How you doing, my friend? Yeah. I mean, the beauty is you'll be able to catch up afterwards. I don't think we'll be making many moves right now. I think what I need to do really is spend quite a decent amount of time actually looking at what's going on here, really having to plan things out. I think that'll be our best move. But we'll set up some easy things, really, first and foremost. Then we'll go from there. Okay. Oh, God, at work yesterday, I was, getting off the back of a van, and, bloody put my foot down on a curb. And then, I don't know, I think one of these things, isn't it? It's like when you actually slip or something like that, it's like you don't really know how you slipped, you just slipped. And yeah, anyway, so slipped, twisted round, and hit a van door. Thankfully, hitting the van door actually stopped me going out into the road, which is quite nice. Oh dear. A quite funny story, actually. I had my Matrix stream yesterday, well, last night for one of these. It's like, my family's like, yeah, you should probably go and the hospital, get that looked at. I'm like, no, I need to do this stream. I'll go after. Oh boy, that was fun. Okay, so Kagi and Kaga will be taken from Kidabutai. Thank you very much, Black Mesa. You have a lot of disposable income, my friend. Bringing glory to the Empire heals all, indeed. Okay, so we're going to form a new task force here. So take Kaga and Akagi. Now, Akagi isn't that much slower than Hiro, Soru, Shikaku, and Zuikaku, but the thing is, it's 3 knots. That 3 knots of difference does make... It does add up. It's like, my destroyers are able to keep up at 33. The battleships only do 30 knots. What I'll probably do then is take the 2 battleships out, as well as LB Kuma. So what this force will be then is, as it heads back to East Asia, it will head, first of all, to Wake and Midway. Okay. I think that'd be the best course of action, sorry. What's happened so far, Ben? We've had the raid on Pearl Harbor, we've had the raid on Manila, we've had the raid on Clark Airfield. We did have a go at attacking Force Z, but we were not successful. In fact, we lost a plane. What I'm doing right now is actually... Well, actually, we took Bataan Island as well. What I'm doing right now is actually setting up the force in the Pacific that is going to aid in the invasion of Midway and Wake Island. The idea here is I have a very fast task force. I'll give them 3 destroyers too. 1, 2. Yeah, that should be fairly sufficient. Okay. There we go. That's pretty cool, dude. Does the game simulate the Allies breaking the Japanese codes at all? I'm not entirely sure. I imagine they probably have really good detection against the Japanese. What about Hong Kong? We've not yet arrived at Hong Kong. Do the Japanese torpedoes suffer the same deficiency as the Americans? No, the Americans have awful torpedoes for a while. Our torpedoes are pretty excellent, and they do a lot of damage when they hit. I never understood how military ships got their shorter names, battleships as BB, aircraft as CB. I used to know something about this, but I forgot what it actually was. I have a book somewhere where it actually details the reason why. It's just abbreviations, obviously, just to make things easier, I suppose. Like the actual ship types. Okay. So what we're going to do then is we're going to make way towards Midway. Head out that way directly. Now, what this will do is, it will have the added advantage of allowing us to actually cover more ground with aircraft. But as well, it will also confuse the historical game as to what's actually going on. Right then, so we do have our two task forces now, Kitabutai and the Wake and Midway Island Task Force. Now, what to do with Kitabutai? I do plan to keep them out here in the Pacific for some time. So, we may... Now, I don't want to break the house rules here, so I will have them head back towards East Asia. I'm not going to attack Pearl Harbor as I've agreed again, which as much as it is tempting, it would be really nice, but it's something I can't do. What we'll do then is we'll head back towards East Asia, and I'm not going to change that route. I'll just, if I end up hitting an American carrier, then so be it. So we'll head primarily to Truck, and then from Truck we'll refuel, and move on from there. Probably not want to head that route. Go for the safer route. Direct. And what I'll do here then is head to the north first. Yeah, so you'll head to the north first then, and around the island there, you have long lands. And the long land torpedoes are very, very effective. Okay. Right, our Imperial Japanese Navy tankers will continue to head in this direction as well. Obviously, we'll keep them... that's a really strange way of movement. Right, direct. There we go. I was going to say, why would you go like that? Thing is, we want to avoid enemy aircraft. We did do decent damage to the actual airfield here. Some decent port damage as well, which is nice. The repair shipyard is going to repair the losses here, though. Okay. So I do have my Philippines invasion cover force here. We do have our invasion force over here as well, which has been strengthened, I do believe. So we'll be landing here with additional troops, which is going to be quite nice. Tenohaika. Tenohaika? Banzai. I love Vincent. How you doing, my friends? Okay, so I have a submarine I-124. Now, if I take a look at the combat report here, we did have success with our midget submarines. Yeah, some success down here as well. Quite nice. Sunk one of them, and heavy fires and fires on one of them. Bloody swordfish. Is the Yamato going to be doing anything in this campaign? See, that's something I've yet to touch on, is how I plan to deal with the shipbuilding. Some of you guys may be a little bit disappointed, but I do have a plan in place that is going to work to the benefit of the Empire. In the long run, anyway. Okay. Yes, here we go. So, we actually did take the ship out. Now, it's only saying on fire and heavy damage, but we did hear the sinking sound. So, 2 torpedoes launched, one of them hit. But the fact is, we actually hit a ship with the midgets, which is really good. Now, if we take a look at Pearl Harbor again, do we still have those midgets there? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Superb. So we have 6 midget submarines still within Pearl Harbor, which is actually really quite nice. The thing is, they haven't been destroyed yet, and they still have the endurance to continue operations. So the thing is, we might yet score more damage in Pearl Harbor, which is actually really quite nice. I'll have to see what may happen, but if they survive, they could do potentially more damage. Yes, if I was to actually use any of the super heavy battleships, it would be in the invasion of Pearl Harbor. Okay, I could do a really getting you out of here. In fairness, having you out here would actually not be too terrible an idea. But I'll have you sent to Tokyo just for the moment in time. If I have something else with you in mind, I will change your direction. Do you have any fuel? You have basically no fuel. No, you actually have a... Yeah, there we go. Nearly 5,000 tons of fuel, so actually not an inconsiderable amount of fuel. We still have those midgets there. Oh dear. I did buy the game, but I can't get it to update and look like yours. See, I'm using a map mod here, and I do have a link to that, so I'll be able to show you that quite easily. What I'll do then is I'll go over here and I'll show you. Okay, so one of the Pacific Admiral Edition mod. Yeah, so here are the mods I'm actually using. What I'll do is I'll leave a link on the video afterwards, or in the description, either or, depends on how lazy I am, and you'll be able to go and find these mods and install them yourself. They really do add a lot, which is really nice. Okay. So we'll have the Guam invasion soon as well. Yo's heading back to Japan. Now, what I plan to do with my carrier escorts is actually, well, escort carriers, is actually to pick up squadrons of aircraft or bombers ideally, and actually take them out to islands along with some engineers, hopefully. So, potentially have a task force made up of APDs and the escort carriers. They'll be able to carry engineers. As well as actually having a decent escort force there in the form of the APDs. They're not as effective as obviously pure destroyers. But the fact is they do have some armaments and they're actually pretty quick, so they will be fairly effective. Okay. I just need to have a drink of water here, just one moment. There we go, that's a lot better. The issue is I still have a cold at the moment, so yeah, I'm not in the best shape at the moment. Which is a shame, because I want to give you guys the best, well, best stream possible, but the best series possible. Okay. Now, I know it seems like we're doing a lot of waffling, because we are doing a lot of waffling. There's not going to be too much done in this stream. This is basically just so I can get the actual episode out there. And from this point on, we'll be then really looking deeper into the game, looking at our next moves, looking to the industry, and really how that's going to be affecting the Empire. Okay, so we're going to move on to ship production. Now what I'm going to take a look at is naval. These ships are building, of course. Right, status. Our status. So, building. What I'm going to do then is halt the construction of Shinano. So halted. Right, there we go. If we take a look there, you can actually see the difference. Yes. So with Shinano cancelled, we actually do have enough shipyard capacity. That's pretty awesome, dude. Thank you very much, Shinano. I almost called you Shinano then. Thank you very much, Black Mesa. Okay, so we'll hold the construction here. Now, what I'm thinking is... Oh dear, you mean unprofessionally? Then I'd agree. Right. Now, what I'm considering here is Yamato. Yeah, Yamato. One of those things, you know when you say something, it just doesn't quite sound right. So the battleship Yamato will arrive on the 20th of May 1942. We do gain Musashi on the 1st of December 42. What I'm thinking here is rather than receive Yamato in May, is actually halt her construction, or basically suspend her construction until we actually are able to match it around December. So the plan is delay Yamato's construction, save that heavy industry, and then have Yamato Musashi arrive at the same time, which I think will have a bigger impact than just one Yamato-class ship arriving at once. I think at the end of the day, these are phenomenally well-armed battleships, and armoured. Their speed isn't great, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not bad, 27's decent to know. But you look at that armour, 212 armour, 493 tower armour, 405 belt armour. These guys pack a punch. They also do carry 7 search aircraft. So I reckon if we have them arrive in December 1942, THG is going to be expecting a Yamato class in May. So we could keep that illusion going. We could keep him in fear that potentially this super heavy, well, this task force may contain a super heavy battleship. I really don't want to actually be engaging in surface combat. So what we'll do then is, if I was to set this to halted, you can see here we gain even more points available. Waiting for a sister ship seems like a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, there's even the possibility that I cancel both the Yamato class and the Shinano class, and that would actually save me quite a lot of heavy industry. But we'll continue the construction on Sashi. So we'll hold the construction on Shinano and Yamamoto. Oh, no, God, Yamato. I don't know what it is, I'm just saying it just doesn't sound right either way I say it. Maybe Swordfish will disable, goddamn Swordfish would be the nemesis. So this is the plans that we'll do here. Yeah, battleships are great, don't get me wrong, absolutely great. Okay, so we do have a few submarines being constructed over here as well, which is quite nice. In the meantime, a division of Yamato-class BBs. Indeed. Right. Now, I do have these points here. The question is, do I actually accelerate the construction of the Gunyo class? Or Gunyo class. Let's see, if I was to accelerate this, you can see that does lose, well, does use a lot of our points here. But I could accelerate Yunyo and Hiyo. That would leave us with a surplus of about 41. So potentially what I could do is accelerate the construction of these ships. So by halting the construction of the Shinano completely, delaying the construction of the Yamato, we could put the points that we save of shipyard capacity into, well, really into the acceleration of the 2 Yunyo carriers. Just don't invite any CVs to the party. Yamato has fairly significant anti-aircraft capabilities. Yes, we can take a look at her. She has fair capacity, well, fair AA capacity. Take a look at the BBs. Obviously, we'll take a look at what comes with the okay. Junyo and Hio considers rebuilt in the game. I don't believe so. I'd think they'd be just classified as new aircraft carriers. Who would win the best battleship of an era with world-class armaments and a couple of flying boys? Pretty well flying boys. Yeah, so we take a look at AA. So 546. If I compare that to the battleships of the line right now, it is significantly better. Not a huge amount better, but better. The thing is, obviously, over time, this will be upgraded. Yes. So if we delay the construction of Yamato, I mean, this is it. We can work out how many days to delay her by taking it away from, obviously, the Musashi construction. So if I look here, so 358 days for Musashi. If I minus 163 days, that gives us 195 days of Yamato being halted. Now, what I can do is if we go to the ship production, what I'll do is I'll put these back to normal. Musashi, well, right, leave Shinano on. Right. So we can see here. Altered. So we gain around, what, 222 points there? So 222 roughly times 163, was it? So overall, that's like 36,000 points of heavy industry, roughly, well, naval yard capacity over those 163 days, which is actually a lot. You really think about it, that's a lot of capacity saved. Of course, we could then put that into the Junyo and the Hyo, or Yunyo and Hyo. So 163 days of extra, well, acceleration is actually going to be quite nice. If I take a look at ships, reinforcement in CVs, you can see here 146 days away, 235 days away. We could actually shave off a decent amount of time, actually, which would be quite nice. You actually take a look at this AA. The AA is actually really formidable. I think this is the best thing to do. And does this game simulate nukes? Yes, there are nukes within the game. Have I used them? No, never touched them. No idea how they work, but they are in the game as far as I know. So what we'll do then is we'll go into our ship production. So ship availability. So I am going to cancel Shinano. Do take a note. Actually, we'll go over here first. So back to industry. Naval shipyard. So max production 1384. Actual production 1384. Heavy industry required 4152. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to halt this. There you go. Naval shipyard estimates 1,150. So she's been halted for the time being. Obviously, then we'll have 163 days, and then we'll begin her construction again, so she'll arrive at the same time, roughly as Musashi. Obviously, I'll have to work, but in the meantime, make sure she does arrive at the same time-ish. Now, the carriers. I will accelerate you. There we go. Naval shipyard estimates 1486. Shinano will be cancelled. They go 1329. So this is good. So hopefully this date will change to give us an actual reflection on when we can expect her. But ideally we can shave off a lot of time on these two carriers, which would actually be very, very effective. So I think by cancelling, well, at least delaying the production of Yamato, we will save ourselves quite a lot and actually gain quite a lot in the end. Ideally so, anyway. Okay, so that is that done. The other ships we really don't want to touch too much. Let's take a look at the merchant yard. Oh, right, so the carrier escorts are actually, well, escort carriers are built in the merchant shipyard. Okay. If I go back to industry... Yeah, 1384. But this is actually good. We should now have a surplus of... well, naval points. Shipyard points. Availability. Yeah, 1329. And we have, what, 1384 at max production? So we actually do have a small surplus. I might be able to use that elsewhere. Hello there, Snake. How you doing, my friend? Don't worry about it. You'll be able to catch it on, well, with the stream beginning. But yes, there we go. So, with the actual halt of Yamato and Shinano, we're able to actually accelerate the construction of the Yunyo class, and we're actually still well within production capabilities here. That's good. We'll have to look at other ships and maybe think about accelerating other ships, potentially even just saving that heavy industry to go elsewhere. Okay, let's take a look at engine production. So of course we need to actually turn repair on for these, yeah, for the manufacturing facilities that we are going to be increasing the size of. I didn't want to do it in the first turn, mostly because I don't want to use all that much supply, as we were doing a lot of expansion. So yes, we're increasing the amount of HA35 production, so Nakajima HA35s, or half 35s, as well as the half 31, or HA31. HA34 too. Another HA31. I'm just looking at the wrong number. I should be looking at the number in the brackets. Yeah, there we go. So Tokyo will produce an additional 200 engines each month. That's good. So we're actually expanding the HA35 quite a lot. Show the Americans the power of Toyota Corolla. Jesus Christ. How successful was the start? Okay, really. Can't say too much else other than that. We did deal some decent damage. We do have some things ongoing. Unfortunately, Force Z is undamaged. Congo was hit by 2 bombs from a bloody biplane. So one of her AA armaments was knocked out, the 12.7 centimeter guns. It's a shame considering they're quite long-range AA guns. But she sustained basically superficial damage, and she's more than ready to go. So 3 systems damage, 1 float damage, or flotation damage. Okay. Our forces are landing over here. We have our forces here, which do need, obviously, the supplies. Quite an effective amount of troops there. So yes. Now we have the advantage, due to the fact that we have Singora under our control. Singora and the base over here to the north, which means I can then start to send troops down by the railway. Although Star is going to be our big objective over here to begin with. Basically, we are going to be making a headlong dash here. I do have a bit of a secret in the fact of... where is it? You're around here somewhere. I'm hoping for a really successful offensive into Southeast Asia once, since you need all of those resources in the long run. Yeah, definitely. Right, here we go. We have the Mersing invasion. So the Mersing invasion will be heading for this base over here. Now, this is going to be a very, very dangerous operation. We also do have 2 APDs, which are quite nice. 2 destroyers, a couple of torpedo boats, and patrol boat. What I want to do then is actually try and put some more escort ships, such as the Congo, Haruna, the heavy cruisers, among other ships there. So my Sundays, they will be used quite effectively. What I need to do is really try to establish the air supremacy over this area in Malaya, which is going to be a very difficult fight considering Singapore is undamaged, and those aircraft there will definitely have a hell of an airbase to run from. So we'll have to be prepared for losses. Against a human player, who knows what you need. It's going to be a bloody fight. Bloody well is going to be a bloody fight. But we'll be landing at Mersing with... well, yeah, just under 10,000 troops, which is actually no small laughing matter. Didn't the Mersing invasion fail in your solo campaign? Does THG control the allies of the US? He controls all of the allies. Right, now, as part of the Mersing invasion, what happened was we did actually take Mersing, but then I left it and it was actually occupied again. So what's going to happen is we'll land our forces here at Mersing, and then all I need to do is take possession of this hex here. I do not even need to take control of Johor. I would like to, but I don't need to. And then, well, what I'm trying to do here is hello there, Norbert again. Except for that, and the British forces in Malaya will fall. God damn it, truth. Yes. So we'll land our forces here at Mersing, cut this rail line here. The British forces, ideally... I mean, what I'm really hoping for here is that THG does, in fact, try to fight me in Malaya. If he's smart, he won't. Which would be a real big issue, but at the end of the day, it does mean that Malaya falls to me without a fight, which would be very nice. It would actually give me, decent enough, actually. Nice, man. Right. Okay. Right. What do we have in terms of actual aircraft? That Gumo mouse wheel. Freaking love it, man. Okay, so I have around 12 B5s here. Most of these bad boys are using torpedoes. And maybe concentrate as much air power as possible in Malaysia and Indonesia. The cost of slow march in China. Well, the march in China really is going to be interesting. What I need to do is actually bring all my engineers into China. And we're going to basically operate from a few bases. Not many, but a few. Notice we do have support here. Aviation support 39 required is only 4. Well, is only 39 available, 49 required. We have insufficient aviation support here. So what I need to do is actually shift my aircraft assets around China. Once we bring in more aviation engineers, things will become a lot easier. That would be good. But yes, this is all we have for today. So until next time, thank you so very much for watching. Goodbye for now.